I died choking on my own blood, the taste of betrayal metallic on my tongue, as my husband's hands, those same hands that once promised forever, pushed me down the subway stairs in a tragic accident the tabloids would devour. Waking up gasping in my old bed, the silk sheets tangled around me like a noose I escaped, I realized the impossible. It was our 5th anniversary morning, the day before the party that sealed my fate, and I was back, 28 again, with every scar of that life etched into my soul. This time, Selena Harper wouldn't beg for scraps of love. I'd carve out the truth from the liars who buried me alive, starting with the man who smiled while sharpening the knife. The alarm clock buzzed like a hornet trapped in my skull, yanking me from the void. I bolted upright, heart slamming against my ribs, expecting the sterile white of the hospital room where I'd flatlined too. No, 5 years from now. But no, the room was mine. Ours. The king-sized bed in our Tribeca loft, with its exposed brick walls and that god-awful abstract painting Alex had insisted on hanging above the headboard, a swirling mess of reds and blacks that now looked like the blood I'd coughed up on the platform at Union Square. I glanced at the date on my phone, June 15th, anniversary eve. My hands flew to my neck, tracing smooth skin where bruises should have bloomed like ugly violets. No scars from the fall. No hollow ache in my chest from the endless therapy sessions I'd endured after he gaslit me into believing I was the crazy one. I was whole. I was here. And the memories? They crashed over me like a tidal wave of ice water. Alex, my husband of 4 years then, 5 in this timeline if I let it play out. The golden boy of Wall Street, with his Ivy League smile and connections that could make or break fortunes. We'd met at a gala for some nonprofit. Me, the rising star journalist at the New York Echo, him the charming hedge fund wunderkind. Sparks, champagne, a whirlwind courtship that ended in a magazine cover wedding. But beneath the gloss, he was a snake oil salesman peddling lies, and I was the fool who drank it down. In my first life, the betrayal started small. Whispers from colleagues about Alex's side interests. Late nights at the office that smelled like Chanel No. 5. Then the emails I wasn't supposed to find, flirty, then filthy, with my best friend, Lila Voss. She'd been my rock since college, the one who held my hand through Mom's cancer scare, who toasted my promotion with tears in her eyes. Turns out, she was toasting something else, my husband, in our bed, while I chased leads on a story about corporate fraud. But it wasn't just an affair. No, that would have been merciful. Alex needed me out of the way. My exposé on his firm's Ponzi scheme, insider tips from a whistleblower I'd protected like a child, was about to drop. It would have tanked him, exposed the rot in his family's legacy. His father, the senator from Connecticut, had built an empire on backroom deals, and Alex was the heir apparent. I was the loose end. So they orchestrated it. Lila fed me doubts, planted evidence that I was unstable, forged diary entries about my paranoia, anonymous tips to my editor painting me as unreliable. Alex played the devoted husband, booking that fake anniversary party at the plaza as a surprise to celebrate our love. 200 guests, A-list influencers, the works. I showed up in my vintage Chanel, heart fluttering despite the red flags waving like semaphore in a storm. The humiliation was surgical. Midway through toasts, Lila accidentally spilled wine on my dress. Red, like a target. Laughter rippled, but it was laced with pity. Then Alex took the mic, his voice booming with feigned emotion. Selena, you've been my everything. But tonight, I have to be honest. He announced our mutual separation, citing my mental health struggles. The crowd gasped, murmured. Lila stepped forward, her arm linked with his, and whispered something that made him chuckle. The final gut punch, a slideshow of our memories, doctored to show me unraveling. Blurry photos of me ranting at shadows, audio clips of slurred voicemails that weren't mine. I fled to the subway, numb, the city lights blurring into streaks. That's when he followed. A coincidental meeting on the platform. Let me explain, he'd said, his hand on my arm gentle at first, then insistent. One shove, framed as me slipping in heels, and I tumbled, skull cracking on the edge of a step. The papers called it suicide by misadventure. Alex played the grieving widower to perfection, parlaying the sympathy into a cushy book deal and a Senate run. Lila? She got the promotion I'd been gunning for, plus his penthouse key. Now, staring at my reflection in the vanity mirror, flawless makeup from last night's touch-up, green eyes wide but fierce, I felt the rage ignite. Not the helpless fury of before, but a cold, calculated burn. This was my do-over. And I'd make them pay, not with screams, but with the precision of a scalpel. I slipped out of bed, toes curling into the plush rug, and padded to the closet. Alex was already gone. Early meeting at the firm, his side of the bed cold as his heart. I rifled through his suits, fingers brushing leather wallets and silk ties, until I found it. The burner phone, tucked in a hidden pocket like a guilty secret. In my first life, I discovered it too late, after the party, when paranoia had me tearing the place apart. Text to Lila. Can't wait for the show tomorrow. She's clueless. Love you, babe. I powered it on, the screen glowing like a devil's eye. Same passcode. Our wedding date, ironic bastard. Messages flooded in, time-stamped from weeks ago. Plans for the party, alibis for the affair. Even a draft email to his lawyer about preemptive divorce filings citing my instability. But deeper in, something new, or old, forgotten in my grief, caught my eye. A thread with an unknown number. The box is ready. Mom will flip when she sees what's inside. Use it to seal the deal after the party's dust settles. The box. What the hell? In my memories, there'd been no box. Just the slideshow, the shove. My pulse thrummed. This was the buried secret, the thread I could pull to unravel them all. I snapped photos with my phone, evidence stacking like bricks in a wall I'd build around their lies. Dressed in power armor, a tailored blazer over jeans, Louboutins that clicked like gunfire, I headed to the Echo's offices in Midtown. The bullpen buzzed with the familiar chaos, reporters hunched over laptops, coffee steam curling like question marks. My desk waited, piled with notes on the fraud story. In the first go-round, I'd buried it under pressure from Alex's concerned calls. Not this time. EY, Selena. You look like you just won the Pulitzer. My editor, Marcus, called from his glass-walled cave. A burly ex-cop turned inkslinger, he was one of the few who'd believed in me till the end. Feels like it. I shot back, flashing a grin that didn't reach my eyes. Got a lead on that hedge fund mess. Mind if I chase it solo? He waved me off. Go get M, Tiger. Just don't forget the anniversary piece, fluff on the Harper's love story. Alex's PR team is breathing down my neck. The love story. Right. I'd write it, all right. Twist it into something that would choke them. My first stop, the whistleblower, Eddie Ruiz, a mid-level accountant who'd vanished after tipping me off. In Life One, he'd turned up dead, overdose, they said, right after Alex's firm investigated leaks. This time, I'd find him first. A quick dive into public records, cross-referenced with burner pings, led me to a dive bar in Queens. Eddie nursed a whiskey at the end of the scarred wooden counter, his face gaunt under the neon buzz. Selena Harper, he rasped when I slid onto the stool beside him, flashing my press badge like a shield. Heard you got cold feet last time. How'd you? Word travels. But you're back. Eyes different. Hungrier. He eyed me, suspicion melting into something like relief. You here to finish what we started? I leaned in, voice low. Tell me everything. And Eddie? This stays between us. No more ghosts. He spilled it over the next hour, ledgers fudged, offshore accounts siphoning millions from pension funds. Widows and orphans bled dry for Alex's yacht fund. The kicker? It tied back to Senator Harper, Alex's dad, who greenlit the schemes via consulting fees. Eddie had proof, encrypted drives, emails stamped with congressional seals. As he handed over a USB drive, cool metal in my palm, I felt the first thrill of power. This wasn't just revenge, it was justice, wrapped in controversy. Leaking it now would torch Alex's world prematurely, but hold it? Bait for the trap. Back in the loft that evening, Alex breezed in with takeout from Nobu, sushi rolls artfully arranged, a bottle of vintage Dom chilling. Babe, you were a ghost today. Everything okay? His cologne hit me like a slap. Aqua di Gio, the scent of our wedding night, turned funeral dirge. I forced a smile, clinking glasses. Just work. The story's heating up. He paused, chopsticks midway to his mouth. The fraud thing? Drop it, sell. It's a dead end. Trust me. There it was, the patronizing tilt of his head, the eyes that said you're too fragile for this. In the old life, I'd caved. You're right. I'd murmured, pushing the files into a drawer. Not now. Actually, I said, swirling my flute. It's bigger than you know. Involves senators. Ponza-level shit. I watched his Adam's apple bob, the flicker of panic he masked with a laugh. You're killing me. Lighten up. Tomorrow's our day. He pulled me close, lips brushing my temple. Revulsion coiled in my gut, but I played along, fingers tracing his jaw like a lover's promise. Or an executioner's mark. That night, as he snored beside me, I slipped into his study. The safe, combination his frat house number, yielded a slim wooden box, carved with the Harper family crest. Inside, a velvet pouch of documents, yellowed like old sins. Birth certificates, but not Alex's. A letter from a clinic, dated 1995, paternity test results. Negative match to Senator Elias Harper. Alex wasn't the golden son. He was a bastard, literally, sired by some low-rent affair, hushed up with NDAs and payoffs. The box, the one for his mother. In the burner texts, it was leverage. Expose the affair to force her hand in the family trust, post-party, when I'd be too broken to fight. Mwahaha, the irony. This was dynamite. A secret buried deeper than my grave. I resealed it, heart pounding. Tomorrow's party wouldn't just humiliate me. It would be their eulogy. But first, I needed allies. A text to Marcus. Hold the fluff piece. Got the real story. Then to Lila, feigned warmth. Can't wait for tomorrow. Where the red, it'll pop in photos. Let her think she had the upper hand. As dawn crept in, painting the skyline gold, I lay awake, plotting. Revenge wasn't a sprint. It was a marathon of mind games, controversial cuts that would leave scars no surgeon could fix. And I'd run it in heels, smiling all the way. The plaza's grand ballroom glittered like a jewel box on steroids, crystal chandeliers dripping light onto mahogany tables laden with orchids and caviar. 200 souls in black ties swirled under the frescoed ceiling, air thick with perfume and pretense. I'd arrived fashionably late, arm looped through Alex's, my emerald gown a sheath of silk that hugged curves I'd starved down in the first life. Heads turned, whispers followed. The Harpers, power couple goals. If only they knew the rot beneath the polish. Lila was there, of course, a vision in scarlet. Versace, no doubt, bought with my blind trust. She air-kissed my cheeks, her diamond studs winking like false friends. Selena, darling, you look devastated. I mean, devastating. Laughter tinkled from her coven of socialites, but I caught the edge, the malice she couldn't quite bury. Flattery will get you everywhere, I purred, clinking her flute. Up close, the Botox lines around her eyes betrayed the strain. 40 chasing 30, clinging to youth like a life raft. In the old timeline, she'd aged gracefully on Alex's arm, columnist for Vogue, while I rotted in an urn. Not this round. Alex worked the room like a pro, schmoozing donors and dipping into pockets with charm offensive. His mother, Vivian Harper, steel-haired matriarch in pearls and a sheath of Chanel, held court by the bar, her gaze appraising me like livestock. Selena, dear, marriage is a business. Don't forget that. Her words from life one echoed, laced with the disdain of old money for new blood. I nodded demurely, but inside, the box burned in my clutch, a miniature grenade, waiting. Eddie's USB was safe in my hotel safe upstairs, story drafted and cued to Marcus with a midnight embargo. Controversial? Hell yes. Dropping a bomb on a senator mid-party would crater the Echo's rep, invite lawsuits that could bankrupt us. But Marcus had texted back, risk it. Truth over tea parties. Loyalty like that? Rare as an honest politician. As the quartet struck up a jazzy rendition of At Last, Alex swept me onto the floor. His hand at my waist felt like chains, but I leaned in, breath hot on his ear. This is perfect. Almost too good. He chuckled, low and intimate. Told you it'd be magic. Lies dripped from him like sweat. I could smell the fear now, faint under the cologne. The burner texts I'd replied to this morning, anonymous. Tick-tock. The box opens soon. He'd think it Lila, sowing doubt. Divide and conquer, baby. The toasts began post-dinner, crystal chiming like alarm bells. Donors first, then Lila. Oh, the irony. She took the mic, glass raised, her voice honeyed venom. To Selena and Alex, the dream we all chase. May your love stay as fierce as it is today. Fierce. Cute. The crowd applauded. I smiled, teeth bared. Then Alex. He ascended the dais, tux impeccable, eyes locking on mine with that practiced sincerity. 5 years ago, Selena walked into my life and turned it upside down, in the best way. Murmurs of us. My stomach twisted, but I held, fingers toying with the clutch. She's my partner, my muse, the fire to my steady flame. But tonight, I have something special. The lights dimmed, the screen flickered to life behind him. Here it came, the slideshow of doom. First slide. Our wedding, me in white, him gazing like a smitten fool. Second, vacations in the Hamptons, laughter frozen in pixels. I braced, remembering the pivot, the candid shots of my breakdowns. But as the third slide loaded, my breath caught. Not the fakes, real ones. Me at my desk, fierce in pursuit. Us at a protest, arms linked against corporate greed. What the? Alex cleared his throat, voice cracking. Just a hair, but I caught it. Selena, you've always pushed me to be better, to fight for what's right. And lately, I've been listening. The crowd leaned in, confused delight rippling. That's why, instead of empty words, I'm announcing something real. Harper Funds is divesting from those shady offshore deals. Full audit, transparency for all investors. Because of you. Gasps, then applause thundered. Vivian's face paled. Lila's smile froze into a rictus. I stared at him, the room spinning. This wasn't the script. In Life 1, this was the humiliation pivot. Now, a mea culpa? No, deflection. He'd sniffed the wind, my morning probes, and spun it into heroism. By time, neutralized the threat. He stepped down, pulling me into an embrace amid cheers. Surprised? He whispered, lips to my ear. Thought it had shut down your little crusade. Rage boiled, but I played stunned joy, tears pricking on cue. Alex, I don't know what to say. Lies within lies. The controversial decision loomed. Expose him now, shatter the illusion, or let it fester, draw out the rot? As couples took the floor again, Lila sidled up, arm brushing mine. Quite the show. He's good, isn't he? The best, I replied, voice syrup. Speaking of, gift for Vivian? I saw you slip him that box earlier. Her eyes narrowed, a flicker of unease. What box? The wooden one. Family heirloom. I tilted my head, innocent. Panic flashed. Good. You must be mistaken. She excused herself, heels clicking toward Alex. I watched them huddle by the balcony doors, heads close, her gesturing wildly. The seed sprouted. Midnight approached. The party thinned, stragglers nursing nightcaps. Vivian summoned me to her table, the box now in her lap, like a Pandora's curse. Alexander mentioned a surprise for me. Said it was from you both, proof of the families. Integrity. My pulse raced. The twist I'd engineered. I'd swapped the paternity docs for Eddie's ledger printouts that afternoon, anonymous drop at the hotel. For the Dowager Queen, the note read, "Open with champagne." Open it, then, I urged, sliding into the seat opposite. Her arthritic fingers fumbled the latch, the lid creaked. Pages spilled, bank statements, email chains, Senator Harper's signature scrawled like a death warrant. What is this? Her voice, usually ice, cracked porcelain. Truth, I said softly. The kind that doesn't stay buried. She scanned, color draining to ash. Elias. That bastard. Not shock at the fraud, familiarity. Then the deeper cut. A sticky note I'd added, clipped to the paternity letter I'd snuck back in. Not his son, but the schemes? All his. Vivian's eyes met mine, steel melting to something raw. You knew? Some ghosts whisper loud. Controversial? Blackmailing a near-octogenarian with her own lies? Ethically gray as fog on the Hudson. But she'd shielded the empire, turned blind eyes to the blood money. Now, her world teetered. Footsteps. Alex, striding over, Lila trailing like a shadow. Mother, what's? He froze, the color leaching from his face as he clocked the open box. Selena, Lila hissed, claws out. You bitch. Language, dear, Vivian snapped, composure snapping back like a whip. Seems we've all been playing games. She closed the box with a thud that echoed like a gavel. Alexander, explain this. Now. He stammered, charm fracturing. It's forged. A setup. Sel's been digging. Into your father's legacy? Vivian's gaze pinned him. Or the fact that you're not part of it. The words hung, a guillotine blade. Lila gasped. Alex reeled as if slapped. I'd leaked the paternity whisper via an anonymous tip to the society's gossip column. Harper heir, bastard born. Time for the party's buzz. Now it detonated. You told her. Alex whirled on me, betrayal twisting his features. Irony, thy name is Karma. I listened. I corrected, rising. The room's eyes were on us now, phones discreetly angling for the drama. To the lies. The shoves. The end you scripted. His face contorted. Fury. Fear. The mask slipping fully. You crazy. A hand on his arm. Vivian. Enough. We're leaving. All of us. Her tone brooked no argument. To me, Selena, a word. Privately. In the powder room, marble cool under my palms, she faced me. Dowager no more, just a woman gutted. You did this. For what? Revenge. Justice, I said. Yours included. He was using that box to blackmail you into the trust payout. Post-party, when I was indisposed. Her lips thinned. Indisposed. You mean dead. The word hung, unadorned. She'd known? Or suspected? The controversy deepened, allying with the viper's nest to gut the head. Help me end it, I pressed. Leak the files. Senator first, then the firm. Or watch Alex burn alone, and take you with him. She waited, pearls clutched like rosary beads. You're more Harper than he ever was. A bitter smile. Deal. As I rejoined the fray, the high of victory hummed. But doubt nipped. Was this salvation, or just trading one poison for another? Lila cornered me by the coat check, eyes wild. What did you say to her? Alex is freaking. Truth hurts, doesn't it, Lil? I leaned in, voice ablade. Like fucking my husband in our bed, while I chased your shadows. She blanched, then rallied with a sneer. Jealous? He chose me. Always will. Not after tonight. I slipped past, leaving her seething. The valet pulled up our car. Alex bundled Vivian in, his face a thundercloud. I slid into the back, the city lights streaking like accusations. Silence stretched, taut as a wire. You think you're clever? He finally spat, twisting to glare. Ruining everything? Everything was already ruined. I shot back. You just forgot to tell me. Vivian's voice cut through. Drive, Alexander. And pray I don't open that box wider. The ride home was a funeral procession, the loft looming like a tomb. Inside, doors slammed. Accusations flew. I retreated to the study, firing off the story to Marcus. Expose. Harper fraud empire crumbles. Embargo lifted. By dawn, the world would know. But as I poured a nightcap, Alex burst in, eyes manic. You did this. All of it. His hand shot out. Not a shove, but a grab for my throat. Instinct kicked. I twisted, knee driving up into his groin. He crumpled, gasping. Touch me again, I hissed, towering over him. And it's not the stairs. It's the ledge. He stared up, hatred pure. Who are you? The wife you killed. The word slipped out, unplanned. His eyes widened. Recognition? No, just shock. Lila's voice echoed from the hall. Alex? Baby. He staggered up, fleeing to her. I locked the door, sliding down it, the weight crashing. Revenge tasted like ash, sweet at first, then choking. And the night wasn't over. Dawn bled red through the blinds, painting the loft in accusation. My phone exploded. Text from Marcus. Holy shit, Sal. It's viral. Senator's office in meltdown. Alerts pinged. CNN tickers, Twitter storms. Harper scandal trended. Memes of Alex's toast morphing into clown emojis. The party pics circulated, captions twisting, love story or con job. I sipped black coffee, scrolling from the kitchen island, the marble cold under my elbows. Vivian had vanished into the guest's sweet post-confrontation, box clutched like a talisman. Alex and Lila, holed up in the master, whispers seeping through walls like smoke. I'd slept on the couch, gun from the safe, his, for protection, tucked under a throw pillow. Paranoia? Or preparation? The first call came at 7 a.m. My editor, voice electric. Selena, you're a goddamn legend. Front page, Pulitzer buzz already. But heads up, cops are sniffing. Fraud's one thing. If there's obstruction, handle it. I said, steel in my tone. Controversial call. I'd held back the affair texts, the burner logs. Not for mercy, for leverage. Expose the heart. Let the tentacles flail. By 8, the doorman buzzed. FBI, badges flashing on the intercom. Mrs. Harper? We need to speak with your husband. I buzzed them up, smoothing my robe like armor. Alex emerged disheveled, Lila trailing in his silk robe. Mine, the thief. Selena, what the fuck? He snarled. Opportunity, I replied coolly. Answer their questions. Or I will. The suits grilled him in the living room. Ledgers from Eddie's drop, cross-referenced with my story. Vivian joined, composed in cashmere, her statement a scalpel. My son acted without my knowledge. But the senator. Elias signed off on everything. Betrayal doubled, mother turning on son, empire on patriarch. Alex's denials crumbled under evidence. Lila squirmed, her alibi fracturing when agents pulled her phone, synced to his cloud, affair texts auto-backed. It's not what it looks like, she wailed, but the agent's eyes said otherwise. As they cuffed him, Mirandized in the foyer, neighbors peeking from door cracks, I felt no triumph. Just a hollow echo of the platform, the crack of bone. Selena, he rasped, wrist zip-tied. You'll regret this. Already did, I murmured. Marrying you. Lila lunged, nails raking air. You frigid bitch. He loved me. An agent hauled her back. She spat curses till they frog-marched her out. The door clicked shut, silence roaring. Vivian lingered, pearls dull in the light. You played us all. Learned from the best. I met her gaze. The trust. Intact. For now. She paused. You're free, Selena. Use it. Free. The word tasted foreign. I nodded. She swept out, calling her lawyer en route to D.C., where Elias barricaded against the storm. Alone, the loft echoed, ghosts of laughter, moans, screams. I toured it like a crime scene. Our bed, rumpled. The study safe, yawning empty. The balcony where I'd once dreamed of kids, now just city hum. The controversial nod, Eddie's safety. I'd wired him anonymous cash last night, relocate. Now dot. But trust in systems was thin as newsprint. Mid-morning, a knock. Not cops, but Lila's doormat desperation. No, my old college roommate, Tara, unannounced, arms laden with bagels and concern. Saw the news. Jesus cell. You okay? Tara, the one who drifted when Lila monopolized my orbit. Red hair, freckles, a therapist now in Brooklyn. I needed a friend, I admitted, the dam cracking. We curled on the couch, her listening as I spilled. Not the death, the rebirth, but the bones, betrayal, the party, the shove I'd reframed as accident. You're a warrior, she said, squeezing my hand. But this? It's war. You need backup. She stayed, helping pack. Essentials only, the rest for lawyers to divvy in the divorce I'd file by noon. Amid the chaos, my phone lit. Unknown number. We need to talk. The real secret. Eddie. Meet at his old bar? Risky, but the hook sank. I went alone. Cab weaving through snarl of sirens. Protests brewing outside Harper HQ. Retirees waving placards. Our pensions, not your yachts. Queens reeked of rain and regret. The bar was shuttered, but Eddie waited in the alley, duffel at his feet. You delivered. But there's more. He thrust a flash drive. Insurance, he called it. Videos. Alex and Elias in a cigar lounge, divvying spoils. Lila, on payroll, leaking competitor intel. The Crown. A clip of Alex, post-party in Life One, on the phone. She slipped. Clean it up. No traces. My blood iced. Proof. Of murder. Why now? I demanded. Because you're the reckoning. His eyes held ghosts. His sister's pension lost. Her cancer untreated. But careful. They fight dirty. We parted. I hailed a cab to the Echo, drive burning in my pocket. Marcus met me in a conference room, blinds drawn. This is dynamite. But Selena, it's accessory territory. You sure? The decision loomed, gray as Gotham smog. Leak it, torch the narrative of accident. Invite murder charges that could boomerang. Motive tied to me, the scorned wife. Hold it. Let fraud suffice, but the shove echoed, unavenged. Publish, I said. All of it. By evening, the second wave hit. Harper Air confessed 2 wives slip on tape. Tabloids feasted, pundits debated, accident or homicide. Alex's arraignment streamed live, orange jumpsuit clashing with his pedigree, Lila beside him in cuffs, mascara rivers. Vivian called then, voice ash. Elias is resigning. The box. It broke everything. Pause. Thank you. For what? Destroying her world? Or freeing it? Goodbye, Vivian. Night fell. Tara crashed on the air mattress, wine bottles emptying like confessions. What's next? She asked, tipsy wisdom. Rebuild. But sleep evaded, dreams replaying the stairs, falling, until a text jolted me awake. 2 a.m., Lila's number. Meet me. Central Park. Bethesda Fountain. Alone. Or the world sees your diary. The one proving you're unhinged. The fake entries. She'd kept copies, insurance against this day. Controversial crossroads. Confront, risk the trap, or ghost, and let smears fly. I went, Glock in my purse. Permit pulled years ago for a stalking story. The park breathed midnight mist, fountain gurgling like a liar's throat. Lila waited on the steps, cigarette glowing, face gaunt under sodium lamps. You came, she sneered, flicking ash. Stupid as ever. Curious, I countered, hand steady on the bag. What's the play? Beg forgiveness. Laughable. She stepped closer, eyes feral. Alex is done, but you? I'll bury you again. That diary, your rants, the threats against him. Cops'll love it. Self-defense for the shove. Shove. She knew. Admitted it oblique. Rage surged, but I reined. You helped. Watched him push. Laughed. Jealousy's ugly cell. Venom. You had it all. Him the career. I took scraps. Scraps? You took my life. Voice low, the secret spilling. I died. And came back. She laughed, brittle. Crazy. Perfect for the narrative. Then the twist, rustle and bushes. Not alone. A figure emerged, thug build, ski mask, blade glinting. Her higher? Panic spiked. I drew, chambering around that echoed like judgment. Back off. The man froze. Lila bolted, but I fired. Warning, splashing water. She tripped, sprawling. Sirens wailed distant. Joggers 911. The thug charged. Instinct, the stairs echo, fueled me. I sidestepped, bag swinging heavy into his knee. He crumpled. I zip-tied him with Tara's forgotten scarf. Improvised MacGyver shit. Cops swarmed minutes later, statements blurting. Assault, Lila's prints on the knife he'd dropped. As they loaded her, cuffed and cursing, she screamed. It's her. She's the psycho. But the knife had her DNA framed? No, her desperation's gift. And my gun? Legal, unspent. Back home, adrenaline crashing, Tara brewed tea. You okay? Alive. The word anchored. But the real controversial, mercy. I deleted the diary smears from her cloud, hacked via Eddie's tip, before cops seized it. Not absolution. Just control. Dawn 2. Headlines screamed Harper mistress arrested in plot. The empire crumbled. Firm seized. Senator indicted. Alex facing counts from fraud to conspiracy. Vivian. Vanished to Europe. Trust dissolved to restitution funds. Me? Resigned from the Echo. Too toxic now. Plotting a book. True crime with rebirth twist veiled as metaphor. Tara moved in. Roommate pact sealed over mimosas. Yet doubt lingered. Was this happy? Scars itched. The what-ifs whispering. And the box? Mailed to Elias's office. Anonymous. Open wide. Months blurred into a haze of depositions and detox. The divorce finalized in a sterile courtroom. Alex, gaunt in County Orange via video link, signing away the loft, the savings, his name. I hate you, he mouthed through the screen. I blew a kiss, the judge's gavel punctuation. Lila's trial was spectacle. Attempted murder, accessory to fraud. Her tearful testimony painting me the villain. Obsessed wife, gun-toting harpy. The jury didn't buy. Her diary, ploy backfired when forensics traced the forgeries to her IP. Sentenced to 15, she glared from the dock. This isn't over. But it was. Locks clicked on her cell, my nightmares quieted. Vivian surfaced in a Paris cafe interview. Silver Fox reinvention. Philanthropist exposing white-collar crime. My family was poison, she told Vogue. Selena? The antidote. Flattery? Or genuine thaw? She wired me a check, 7 figures, for the trust you deserved. I donated half to Eddie's sister's fund, kept the rest for a brownstone in Brooklyn. Controversial? Profiting from pain. But survival's gray. Eddie vanished clean. Costa Rica, he emailed once. Owe you eternity. The USB? Shredded post-trial. Some truths die earned. Tara and I built slow. Girls' nights at dive bars. Her therapy couch for my ghosts. Rebirth isn't linear, she'd say. unpacking the stairs in metaphor. No literal death confessed, too wild even for her. Dates flickered, a barista with tattoos, a prof with kind eyes, but trust was a muscle atrophied. Sex, mechanical, until one night, whiskey loose, I whispered to a stranger, I died once. He laughed, I left. Better alone than ashes. The book deal landed 6 months post-party, shattered vows, a journalist's fall and rise. Ghost-ridden veneer, but my voice, raw, American grit, subway rats to Senate rats. It hit NYT list, tours from LA to DC. Hewen as tiptoed the edge. Was the accident murder? I'd smile. Justice found its way. Twists lingered. A year in, anonymous package. The wooden box, repackaged with a note. Vivian's script, keep it. Reminder, secrets breed monsters. Inside, the paternity letter, Elias's confession scrawled. I knew. Groomed him anyway. I burned it on the brownstone stoop, flames dancing like vindication. Alex's trial climaxed in controversy. Plea deal for 20, but a bombshell witness, his frat brother, conscience pricked, testified to the burner plots, the slip rehearsal. Manslaughter added, sentence bumped to life. Viewing from the gallery, I locked eyes. Not hate, just emptiness. He'd pushed, I'd pushed back. Balance. Post-verdict, rain-slick streets. I ducked into a cafe. Ironic, Nobu light. There, sketching on a napkin, a senator's downfall. But wait, a face across the room. Green eyes, sharp jaw. Me? No, him. Alex? No, a doppelganger? Heart stuttered. Then clarity. A journalist, badge glinting. Miss Harper? Fan. Your story. Inspired my piece on whistleblowers. Relief flooded. We talked till closing. Coffee turning to numbers exchanged. His name, Jordan. Divorced, dog dad, no skeletons sniffed. First date, Central Park, fountain bubbling benign. Bethesda, I quipped, where I once drowned in bullshit. He laughed, hand brushing mine, warm, uncalculated. Trust budded, tentative as spring. 2 years on, the anniversary ghosted past. June 15th, a quiet dinner with Tara and Jordan, now boyfriend steady. The loft. Sold, proceeds to fraud victims. My byline. Freelance firebrand. Podcast decrying corruption. Vivian. Holiday cards, tentative bridge. The final twist hit like lightning. Pregnancy test, 2 lines. Life, insistent. I told Jordan over Skyline wine. It's a do-over. For real. He kissed my temple. No shove, just anchor. Then let's make it epic. But echoes persist. Nights, I wake gasping, stairs blurring to cribs. Is this happy? Or bikarmic joke, reborn to birth anew? The box's ashes scattered in the Hudson, but secrets? They float, waiting wind. Revenge ended them. Rebirth? It remakes me. And in America's grind, hustle, heartbreak, headlines, I stand, unbowed. The push was theirs, the rise mine. Epilogue hook. Sometimes, in quiet, I wonder, if I hadn't fallen, would I have flown? But hell, I did both. And the view from here? Worth every crack.